right, so today we're diving into this fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of unsettling article that says we're all missing the real point about our AI future. We've all heard the usual stuff, right? Jobs will vanish, UBI is on its way, everything's going to be automated. It's become the standard background noise whenever we talk about AI, the safe, predictable talking points. But this is where the article really takes a sharp turn. It suggests that the biggest changes, well, they won't be forced on us. Not at all. They'll be changes we willingly choose, all because of one simple, incredibly powerful thing: convenience. Okay, so let's start with that idea of convenience, and let's talk about our own minds. This brings us to the first big and pretty jarring prediction: the intelligence paradox. The common belief is that AI is going to be like a superpower for our brains. But this perspective, it sees a much, much darker outcome. So instead of us all turning into super geniuses, this theory says we are standing on the edge of the greatest intellectual decline in human history. We're not going to be augmenting our thinking, we're going to be outsourcing it completely. Wow. I mean, this really puts the speed and the sheer scale of this change into perspective, doesn't it? The idea is that our basic cognitive skills could become so rare, they'll seem like some kind of ancient, forgotten craft. Why would you struggle to think when an AI can just give you the answer instantly? And here's an analogy we can all get. Remember that little bit of panic you feel when your phone dies and you suddenly have no idea where you are? That GPS dependency? Okay, now just imagine feeling that, but for everything. For logic, for reasoning, for every single one of your cognitive skills. So if we're outsourcing our thinking, what happens to the actual physical world around us? Well, that leads us right into the second prediction, the idea that reality itself is about to become a luxury good, something that's priced and sold only to the highest bidder. And look, this isn't just about VR getting more realistic. This is about a fundamental economic shift. As these virtual worlds become absolutely perfect and basically free, maintaining the messy, expensive real world, well, for most society, it's just not going to make economic sense. And this question, this really gets to the cold, hard economic logic of it all. If a simulation is perfect, if it's customizable, and if it's cheap, why would we, as a society, keep paying for the messy, expensive, and imperfect original? And what this creates is a totally new kind of class divide. The super wealthy will be able to afford artisanal reality, breathing actual air, touching real trees. Meanwhile, everyone else will live in these simulated spaces that are, technically flawless, but also fundamentally empty. Okay, from our minds to our environment, the third prediction takes this to the level of society itself. What happens to the whole concept of democratic choice when we as human beings become completely and totally predictable? But again, the argument here is that we're worried about the wrong thing. The real danger isn't that AI is going to trick us with deepfakes. It's that AI will understand us so perfectly that our choices become completely predictable, making the entire democratic process, well, kind of pointless. And I mean, this logic leads to some really uncomfortable questions. If an AI can predict the vote with near-perfect accuracy and model the absolute best policy, what's the point of all our democratic rituals, debates, campaigns, even the act of voting itself? Could it all just become an elaborate performance? Theater? And that's the deal. That's the transaction. We will willingly hand over the messiness and the chaos of freedom in exchange for a perfectly efficient, optimized, and predictable society. And the craziest part? We won't even see it as a loss. We'll call it progress. So after all this, after the intellectual atrophy, the luxury reality, the simulated democracy, what is the one single thread that connects all of these bleak predictions? It's not some far-off technology. It's a series of simple choices that we are already making every single day. It all really boils down to three fundamental trade-offs. Are we choosing convenience over our own agency? Are we choosing optimization over authenticity? And are we choosing efficiency over meaning? The article's answer, for better or for worse, seems to be a pretty clear yes. And maybe the most unsettling takeaway of all is this. This future isn't being forced on us by some rogue AI. It's a future we are actively, willingly building for ourselves, one convenient click, one easy choice at a time. And that really just leaves us with the final and most challenging question to think about. I mean, just look at how easily and completely we've already adopted smartphones and social media. Given that track record, is there any real reason to believe this time will be different? What do you think we'll choose?